Hello guys, JBread here, back again for another video. For this video, I want you guys to check this legendary mod that I found. A mod that really showcases the intricate situation of the Mediterranean. A land once rich and united under the Western and Eastern Roman Empire is now divided by petty kings, barbarian tribes, and the Caliph, uncertain of its fate. The very land ripped apart by fates and swords. Once a beacon of development and prosperity, now backwards and fighting for scraps. Would you be able to rise from the ashes of the former Roman crown? Will you help in restoring the empire, or destroy it? Unite the fates, or condemn them as heresy? This is the Eclipsed crown. Hello guys, with my little intro out of the way, welcome to the video. And if you're a returning viewer to this channel, welcome back. If you don't want to be spoiled and would rather experience the features of the mod yourself, I highly recommend checking it out and supporting the creators. I really think that it's a fun mod with plenty of unique challenges, and if you'd like to see more of these types of videos, please like and subscribe to my channel as it really helps me out. With that out of the way, Eclipsed Crown is an overhaul with a brand new start date of 724 AD, 143 years before the earliest start in the base game. The Mediterranean is still developing into what we see in vanilla. Greece has recently been invaded and settled by Slavic tribes, while the Bulgars are still a nascent power in the north, having only just displaced and killed the Romans living in these regions. To the east, the Umayyad Caliphate prowls the frontier of Byzantium and Francia. In vanilla, the Muslim powers of Arabia, Egypt, the Middle East, and Africa are fragmented and weak. But in the year 724, they stand united as a single empire under the Umayyads, the first great Muslim empire, inspired by their prophet to conquer the houses of Rome and Persia. They are still battered from war, yet remain strong, having recently taken Iberia from the Visigoths and Africa and Egypt from the Byzantines, and only 6 years removed from their failed siege of Constantinople. The Umayyads are now gathering strength for a push into Francia, still disunited under dukes and lords. Italy is split. The vengeful Lombards hold much of the north and center, while Byzantine forces cling only to Ravenna, Rome, and a handful of coastal strongholds. Back in Constantinople, all these defeats at the hands of Slavs and Muslims are brewing a new storm, not from without, but from within. Emperor Leo, the victor against the Arabs, now whispers of a dangerous heresy, that the holy icons are not blessings, but curses, the very cause of God's wrath. Of which is where we start the game. If we play as any state within the recent former borders of East Rome, we find the ikonomachia struggle. It is a combination of two Greek words, ikon meaning icons and machia meaning struggle or war, thus forming the compound word ikonomachia, more commonly known in English as the Byzantine iconoclasm. Immediately in the game's start, most of the eastern provinces are iconoclasts, while the west is Catholic and Orthodox, and this would bring internal conflicts to Byzantium. Before I want to talk about the gameplay itself, I want to give you a bit of background about iconoclasm to give sense to the situation of the Mediterranean during these times. But I don't want to bore you, so I'll try to keep it short. Basically, the iconoclasm is a period in Byzantium's history when the desperate Christians of the East tried to reform the Latin and Greek church, deeming the veneration of images of holy people and even God as Jesus as a violation of the second commandment. These reformers, called iconoclasts, were influenced by Muslim raids, invasions, and their theology, as Muslims themselves don't have images of God. saw the Muslim victories as a sign of divine retribution and punishment by God. Despite that, most of the West, such as the Latin Church under the Pope and the clergy, and similarly the bishops and priests of Western Greeks, both rejected and resisted the iconoclasts' sentiments, as they kept the older translation of the second commandment as a command by God not to make idols or statues for the expressed purpose of worshipping them as gods, meaning images are allowed as long as it's for God's glory. With a bit of the main background of the mod out of the way, now I want to focus more on the gameplay aspects of the mod and share to you guys my experiences in playing this mod and the wonderful ideas and concept it tries to depict. Though our provinces are fragmented from invasions and raids, we can see that we still have a large grip of our state. Though we are outnumbered numerically against the Arabs, our economy is still strong and powerful, allowing us to rebuild our army. Our emperor is considered a heretic in terms of the state religion, meaning lords that we appoint will be orthodox, making us weaker in the long run as we retake provinces. And what more, the iconomachia struggle in its current phase raises the chance of a usurper to rebel against us. But the only good thing about this is that Leo is a very skilled commander, statesman, and diplomat, making keeping our vassals in check quite easy. With all these factors considered, I sought a way to address these issues. I first gave away my extra lands to my loyal vassals. I then improved on my court prestige and gave away court and council positions to keep my vassals working and happy, and reformed the army to deter any Arab invasions. I also reorganized the provinces to suit my needs and maximize income. And once I felt that the state was safe internally, then set to conquer my neighbors bit by bit, starting with the weaker ones like the Slavs. I tried to be careful in choosing the type of casus belli that I would use, picking the ones that cost the least in prestige and gain the most in victory. In the meantime, I wanted to stabilize the state of religion in Byzantium and to choose which conclusion that I would pick for this struggle in what I deemed as most probable. There are three endings to this struggle. First is restoring Byzantium's borders, requiring us to play as Byzantium and retake Bulgaria, Armenia, Greece, and central Italy. The second is destroying Rome, requiring us to hold Greece, Anatolia, and Armenia as a foreign power. Last is to reconcile East and West, though I haven't gone this route yet, but all it requires is an alliance between you and the Byzantine Emperor and a strong hook to the Pope, also needing us to be a foreign power. I opted to choose the first option. Last is to pick what religion I should keep as. Being iconoclasts requires us to have 5,000 prestige and influence to change the state religion of the state, and that is a crazy requirement. By picking this would make our time easier when conquering lost lands. Ultimately, I choose not to play as an iconoclast nor as an orthodox, but as a Catholic. Why? Because I have the Pope as a vassal, and because Catholicism is ultra powerful in this mod. Not only does it keep its vanilla holy sites, but it also includes the orthodox ones, and these are some good modifiers. And also, because iconoclasm is just orthodoxy but much better in terms of tenants. I also just wormed my way into not giving lands to orthodox vassals by handpicking who my vassals would be. Eventually, after grinding in my conquering, jumping from Greece to Bulgaria, Italy, and Armenia, and then back to Greece, Bulgaria, Italy, and Armenia, I was able to finally completely conquer what's needed of me in order to get one of the endings. And here is my authentic reaction to it. Alright guys, I think this is gonna be it. So, looking at the struggle endings, we can now pick the first one. And with that, Byzantium is restored. Or maybe Rome, for this matter, is restored. And look at that, it's a cool image. I think this is from the Church of Hagia Sophia. And we have some text here. Read it at your pleasure. But anyway, so with this ending, we get the great nickname, and we also get the crown as king of the Romans. There's a little bit of issue here, so it says Aachen, but that's for the Holy Roman Empire, so a little bug there. And we just get some claims to Italy and Greece, southern Greece, yeah. And we have the modifier Imperial Resurgence. So it's just like any, I think, any modifier you get for reconquering significant Roman cities. So that's pretty cool. Despite me sounding like I was disappointed or very tired, I was actually very happy that I got the ending, as I was actually trying to speedrun the mod. I was able to achieve it by only in 39 years, in game years, so which is 5 hours in real time. But yeah, so that's about it guys for this video. My thoughts on this mod is that it's really great. I really like the setting and the timeline of the mod and its new feature. Though I can see that this mod is still somewhat in development. There are some bugs that, well, we saw, and there are actually a lot more features that I didn't really mention in the video. I was hoping that you would discover it for yourself when you play the mod. But yeah, that's about it guys. I hope you like the video. I hope you like the mod. Please support the mod creators, and also please subscribe to my channel, as I'll be planning to make a lot more videos like this and more. And please also like and recommend what mods should I cover, or maybe recommend what type of videos I should make. So yeah, that's about it guys. Peace.